All right, it's another day to be great. I'm Charbel Milan. Today
Umi the Goat, the Idiosyncratic.
we got Umi the Goat. So, just to get you up to speed, this podcast is all about inspiring people out of Atlanta, inspiring people in general, people like yourself who are going out of their way to create, innovate, and ultimately, start new waves. So, if you just want to take a moment, just get everyone up to speed, let them know, what they should know about you before we get going.
Besides the fact that I'm a goat, I created my own genre called Idiosyncratic. Idiosyncratic music is for the people who want to go into the studio and make music how they want to make music. Basically, like, for instance, a regular engineer, I engineer myself, but a regular engineer would be like, sing into the mic so I can find the key of the beat. And I'm like, no, I'm going to sing into the mic and find the octave or sound that I want to do for this beat. And that's what we're going to go with. So basically, raw creativity and making music how you want to make music, stepping outside of like a rule or a formula that's usually made to for artists to use.
Okay, so you didn't like feeling restricted. So you were just like, fuck it, I'll start my own type of music.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
So it's idiosyncrasy?
Yeah, idiosyncratic. Yeah, but
Idiosyncratic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it just represents free spirited, like creativity, or is there like a specific type of sound? Because I was listening to Roland, I was listening to Posers, and they had a type of energy with them. And I really liked it. But is there a specific type of energy you try to get at, or is it just kind of like an open space?
I would say an open space because I want to make music, all types of music. Like when I go into the studio, I want the producer to play sounds I've never heard before. And then I want to make melodies or a sound with my voice that I've never heard before. And that's how we would create it, yeah. But I also like to have fun. So like Rolling, for instance, I would say that's more like a now type of song. So I still like to say that vibe too. But then you have my voice that's kind of only sounds like me, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so do you feel like people are limiting themselves by not thinking in the direction of, you know what, I'm just gonna go in and do what sounds good to me. I'm gonna find my own sound. Do you think that mindset that we gotta stick to a genre, we gotta stick to a type of music when I'm becoming an artist, right? Do you think that that's very limiting to a lot of people who are starting a music career?
Yeah, I think that people make music for people instead of making music for themselves. So when they go into the studio, they're like listening for beats that they've heard on the radio that they know that everybody likes. Like, for instance, I go to a show and I'll hear rappers now making beats like Lil Nas X instead of going to the studio and creating something totally new and becoming a form of Nas X, which I say he created a wave. So yeah, I would say people are going to the studio and making music for a specific audience that they will want to like them. And I'm going into the studio trying to create a new audience, if that makes sense.
I like that. So I like that because you're kind of right. People always are trying to fit into a specific group or have their music fit into a specific section of music, but you're trying to create your own.
Yes, yeah,
Wow.
for sure. Yeah, because I felt like every time I go to the studio, the engineer or the people that I'm with are always like, you should say this instead, or you should sound like this, you should bring your voice up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. This sounds dope. This is what I want to do. Like, I think people are going to like it, or regardless. Somebody will. And that's the person that I want to like it.
So do you think that negative, because I mean, anytime anybody goes out on a limb to create something, no matter what it is, there's always going to be haters. And I mean, some of them are clearly jealous. Other people are just don't understand it. But then have you gotten any negative energy from people?
Yeah, I do, especially when performing because like I go over the top. Like the last performance I did, I had a guitarist with me and it was kind of like it wasn't like a concert setting where you would usually see a guitarist, but I got a guitarist. I'm jumping on a bar. I'm rapping. I'm putting on a show. I was a theater major at first, so like I know how to put on a show, and I'm actually working my ass off and trying to get the crowd lit because people are performing, the crowd will be like this. I'm like, no, you're gonna dance with me. So I definitely think that intimidates people because for instance they won't even look at me. Like if I'm walking around, they'll like try so hard not to look at me, or just feel like they need to step it up a bit. But yeah, I actually do, mainly from guys, which is weird. Girls love me, but guys are kind of like, okay, this girl is actually better than me. This is,
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Wow. So you said you did theater,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
in theater, what kind of things does they teach you in regards to putting on a show or setting, a tone?
One thing I took away from it is how to kind of how to work the stage, like different parts of the stage, like left, right, back, and also how to overcome stage fright. Cause I'm super shy, and nobody will ever know, like, if they've ever seen me perform. But they taught me ways that I could look like I'm looking at everybody, but really I'm looking at the wall, or really I'm in like a whole different. I'm not even paying attention to faces. So they definitely taught me that, and as far as like adding personality to music, definitely theater arts has helped me with that.
So I really like that. You mentioned that you kind of just stare off in a direction
Mm.
at nothing, but you make it look like you're looking at specific parts of it. Do you think that helps out not making eye contact with people? Because I feel like that's what would kind of fuck with me, is making eye contact with someone and kind of getting stuck on them and not
Yeah.
realizing that you're performing a show. Does that ever happen?
Yeah. I might get out of character, like break my character, because I looked at someone in the face and they either look entertained, or like not paying attention, or like made a face. But that can always, like, even if they enjoy you, that face could still come off to me while I'm performing, as in you think this is horrible. So that'll break my character all the way. And I've seen it happen to artists where they accidentally make eye contact with me, like knowing me as a performer, but like my face can be like this, and really I could be excited. So I try not to look at someone, because it can definitely break my character.
Damn. Okay. Because I mean, a lot of people don't even get insight to that type of thing. They never even understand a lot of the issues that you face on a more micro level when performing. Like, for example, how am I gonna move with the music? I gotta make sure both sides are entertained. A bunch of things I probably don't even know. But
Yeah.
it's a very interesting perspective that you can almost break character by being too in character. Wow. So
Yeah.
when you first started off, you told me that you were in the studio and you were just kind of like, fuck this. I like what I like. I don't want to be critiqued left and right. Do you think that setting, having the people around you that support that, fuck it, go for it, I like that. Do you think that setting ultimately helps a new artist, somebody who's watching right now who aspires to start their own genre, or follow in your steps, but they don't feel like their setting is supporting them, their friend group, their place that they go record, whatever it is? Do you think setting had an impact on you, or were you kind of always set on doing your own thing?
Yeah, I honestly do think that. I think people not wanting me to do the things that I wanted to do made me want to go do it and prove to them that it could work, because I imagine everything in my head, like how it's supposed to go, and then I'm like stuck on it, like this is gonna work, this is, people are gonna like this is gonna go. And someone will always used to say no, or let's do this, let's start here, let's limit it. And I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna go dolo. That's why I've been working dolo for the past 2 years, and just do it, and then prove to everybody that it's gonna work. And it worked. So now those people that were saying no are back on my team, and they're asking me for help, and like, how do I do this, and how do you do this, and how are you coming up with all these ideas? And I'm just like, I think about it and I actually do it, instead of saying like, I'm gonna need this and I'm gonna need that. And I'm like, if I can't get this, then I'll find a substitute, a cheaper version, or I just make it work regardless. So them telling me no made me actually go do that. So yeah.
It's weird. There's always something to be found in that. When someone tells you you can't do something, it's almost like you have to do it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So as far as being in Atlanta, right? I know Atlanta's obviously pretty big for the music industry, but for you specifically, have you seen a lot of love from Atlanta, or is it just kind of general, like the amount of effort that you put in has equaled the amount of results that you've got, or has being in Atlanta actually influenced your rise?
Yeah, I would actually say I'm starting to say, or like I like to say at the beginning of each performance, is Atlanta adopted me, because I put out a song on SoundCloud, my first song. I went to Clark Atlanta University, and everybody loved the song. And I'm like, okay. And then a person heard it and was like, I want you to perform at my show. And this is like 3 months of the song being out on SoundCloud, me never having a SoundCloud, people never knowing I did music, and they're like, I want you to perform. So I performed, and people were like, whoa, she's dope. And then I dropped a project, and then I started performing at all these showcases around Atlanta, and they were just like showing me so much love. It was like, it was unbelievable. And honestly, Atlanta's love is what kept me going, still keeps me going. Like, they follow me everywhere. If I have a show, they're gonna pull up. Like, yeah, Atlanta definitely. I always encourage independent artists, if they're serious, to just come out to Atlanta, because if you're good, they're gonna respect you, they're gonna become a fan, and they're gonna follow you to the top. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, wow. So you mentioned something really interesting. You got invited to perform on a show when you weren't even really mentally there yet. You were just kind of had a couple on SoundCloud. You weren't working on a project, or you were?
I wasn't at the time.
But that inspired you to.
Yeah.
Damn, so what was the mindset like? Like, if I was to get in your shoes during that moment, what was that like? Like, were you kind of like, I don't know? Or were you like, fuck yeah, I'm about to tear this up?
Yeah, I was just like, I was watching Kanye West, and I was watching Lil Wayne, and I'm just like, I didn't have nearly as much stuff on stage as they did, but I'm just like, what moves are they doing? Like, how are they captivating the audience? Like, what can I do? So I came up with a couple dance moves, which I still do to this day, like probably a day before. And literally every performance that I do, I came up with a dance move like 2-3 days or so beforehand. Came up with some dope little moves, and people loved it. They loved that I was dancing. I'm from New York, so I grew up dancing, getting light, and all that fun stuff. So to bring that culture to Atlanta, they love it. They love seeing new stuff that they've never seen before. So I definitely, I was shy, but you never would have guessed that. In my head, I'm like a self-motivator, so it's kind of like, if I'm shy, I'm still telling myself, like, this is nothing, I got it, go crazy, they're gonna love you, and that's usually how it ends. Yeah.
I like that. That's really good energy to have to the situation.
Yeah.
But you said that you make dance moves right before you go on, like the day before?
Yeah.
So what is like the process of doing that? Is it just kind of however you feel, or do you try to cater it to like the area that you're performing?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So like, the last show I had was Sunday, and it was at the R Bar, and I went to the R Bar like 2 times before this show, so I knew exactly what the R Bar was in my head. So for like 2 weeks, the 2 weeks that I knew about the show, I performed it in my head about 30 times. I've never rehearsed for this show, but I performed it in my head 30 times. So when I got there, I was just telling my girlfriend this. When I got there, I literally did everything that I was thinking about this full 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to sleep, I'm dreaming about it. I'm at work, I'm thinking about it, doing the choreography, and then I did it on Sunday, and it was crazy. I did it exactly how I thought about it. Jumped on a bar, jumped on the benches, went in the crowd, just turned up and went crazy.
So you just kind of turned it into almost not muscle memory, but you did it so much it became second nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Do you think that's something a lot of people aren't giving enough attention to? They're just kind of like, fuck it, I'll go up there, feel the crowd. And then, like you said, they're not really able to really get the crowd going and really feel it out and make an environment. Because it's not just performing, you're trying to create a space.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think people even think about how serious the performance aspect of being a rapper is. I think nowadays artists are more into, which is okay, of course, the videos and social media, which is what I need to do more. But I don't think they think about the performance part of it. And really, honestly, the way artists are making music today are either social media, streaming, or selling tickets. So I'm like, if I'm gonna get signed, or if I'm gonna sign myself and make money, I at least need to sell tickets. Now for me, I'm not gonna go to a show that I'm not gonna be entertained, that I'm gonna be bored, that I'm gonna want to leave, and that I'm not gonna want to pay $10 for, because I know I'm gonna want to leave. So I think about it as, what would I have to see in order to stay throughout a whole show? And that's the show that I give, because I want people to come to every show. So if I put on the show this first time, you're going to be like, yo, she's so dope, I'm going to the next one, to the next one. And even if you don't go to the next one or the next one, you're going to go to another one eventually. And I think performing live is how you gain most of your fans, your lifelong fans. I think once people see me on social media, they're like, oh, she's dope, and then they see me perform and they're like, oh no, I'm a fan. Like, so yeah.
See, the last person I had on here, or I think it was the person before, we were talking about that exact same concept, that you can post a video, you can have a tweet, whatever it is, and it can get 20, 30 million views. But what about those 15,000 people that tune into every video? What about those people that download every album? Those are the real fans. And that's who you want to attract, because you can blow up quick, but it's all about maintaining. And like you said, having a group of people that are going to pull up because they've already felt the energy.
Yeah.
So just to take his twist on it, right? Do you think there's something about performing, feeling out the crowd, feeling out the fans pretty much, that kind of resonates with you when you go back to writing music, when you go back to recording? Do you almost kind of feel yourself subconsciously critiquing yourself? Like, well, when I performed that one song, the way I came in, they weren't really feeling it like I thought they would. Or, damn, they hit a lot harder during this part. I didn't even think that was going to be. So does that kind of happen, or are you just kind of fixed on your vibe, and if they're not with it, then they can leave?
Yeah, I think I definitely would 100% say I think about that when I make certain songs, or now that I'm so like in love with performing, because at first, I was making music in my room and I've never performed before, but now that I performed and I felt that energy, I just love doing it. So I catch myself making music and then being like, okay, thinking about how it would be on stage, thinking about how the audience would think. And I'm like, yeah, this is a cool song, but this wouldn't be a song I would perform at this type of event. But I have so many different types of events, so I created so many different types of music so that, like, the underground Edgewood scene, I could turn them up with 2020, but the cool, chill instruments and drum live instrument scene, I would do like Green Eyes and Posers or Flip or something like that. So I created different music to kind of match whatever area you put me in.
Oh. So you just kind of, you adapt.
Yes.
Which is kind of what you have to do. Wow.
Yeah.
So have you seen a difference between New York style music industry versus Atlanta? Were you a part of both, or was it mainly when you came down here, right?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was mainly when I came down here. I would say the difference would definitely be support. And I think in New York, you have to prove yourself a lot more. Like, you got to put in those years in New York. And I feel like Atlanta, you gotta either they like your music or they don't, because they like to dance out here. All they want to do is dance and have fun and turn up. This is Atlanta. They want to party. So if you can make them dance, or if you can make them think about love, or if you can make them just, give them the feeling of another artist that they love, then they're gonna fuck with you forever. So I say it's a lot tougher in your hometown than it is going somewhere and starting your music, definitely, because in New York, people know me for as a specific person, like middle school, elementary, high school.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, you could start all over and be that person you always dreamed of in middle and high school. So I think that's what I came out here and did.
I like that, because that does hold a lot of people back. That I think I forgot who it was that told me this, but they were saying that if you really want to make it big in any industry, you gotta reach for the people outside of your circle, because a lot of the times people don't want to see you win.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And I think that's actually scary. It's actually, people are scared to go back home after they make it, and which is really sad. But it took for Atlanta to love me, for my town to love me. I think they're hip now, but it definitely took for, I had to, like, recently I was just on a magazine cover. It wasn't to that magazine cover that everybody was like, whoa, and I've
Which
done
magazine?
way other Revolt.
Which one?
Revolt.
Revo?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of Revolt?
I haven't.
So
but
Diddy
then
has
again, I feel like I have.
Yeah, I think you have. It's a channel, but also Diddy throws like Revolt summits in LA, Atlanta, and New York. So yeah.
So how did that happen? How'd you get on the cover of that?
It's a funny story. A friend of mine was like, hey, I got these free Revolt tickets. Puff Daddy's coming to Atlanta. This is the first time. And I'm like, cool. And I sneak my girlfriend in, and we're like, yo, we got to make this count. We're here. We're like face to face with like all these dope people. We got to make this count. We got to get into the VIP section. So the first couple tries, we kind of punked out, and then we got some liquor courage, and we was like, you know what? Let's walk in like we're celebrities. I'm dressed like a celebrity. I have on like all silk. My girlfriend's dressed up. My friends are dressed up. We look like celebrities. They're not gonna not believe us. So we walk by and we get into VIP. And then from there, we got all these free drinks. It was so fun. We're mingling. Then we're like, you know what? Let's go in Diddy's VIP. And we're like, okay. So as we're walking to Diddy's VIP, Diddy's walking in too. And we're like, let's walk behind Diddy. And we walked behind Diddy and we got in. And once we got in, we were like, okay, let's stop following Diddy. Let's just go over here. So we're just walking around. We're roaming. We're meeting people. They're taking pictures. The right person took a picture, and it ended up being the person who's over his magazine, Revolt. And they just reached out to me probably like a month ago and like, we've been looking all over for you. We've searched LA, New York, and Atlanta, and we picked you out of all these people to be the cover of the magazine. And I'm like, it's still unbelievable to this day because I'm just like, I'm on the face of a
All right,
magazine.
so I just want to run this back because this is something I always talk about, right? So it wasn't until you took a step that made you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
That you found success.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I was like, after the magazine got to my house, I'm just like, wait, we snuck in. Like, we weren't even supposed to be there. Like, and now I'm on the cover of the magazine. Like, it's crazy.
So,
crazy.
Did you meet Diddy personally, or you guys just used him as the entry?
And yeah, we just got in and then we left it alone because we actually were like, we don't want to get caught back here and get kicked out. We might as well just vibe. But no, I never got to meet him.
But if you're on his magazine, he knows you now.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And it's been in the hands of him, Andre Harrell, and a couple other dope people that they've sent me pictures of. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
wow,
crazy.
So you said that was only a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
My God, so just imagine that being like a break that you get, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine that, well, not imagine, when that does go really far, because we don't imagine here on a timeshare.
Yeah.
So when that does happen, it's almost like you're going to look back and be like, holy shit, like what if I was like, nah, fuck it, we're not going to get kicked out, or what if you didn't take that extra shot?
Yeah,
Does that ever go through your head?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I watch interviews all the time. I'm obsessed with watching like interviews and finding out people's come up stories, and I always like, I want to find my story. I want to have a story. I feel like I don't have any fun stuff that happened, and then this is probably after I snuck in and did that fun stuff, and then this happened. I'm just like, whoa, okay, so like any step I make, I just need, any thought I have, I just need to do it. I need to stop second guessing myself, because when I second guess myself, I miss out on a great opportunity every single time. So 2020, I'm just gonna, take anything I say, I'm just gonna do it and not hesitate or procrastinate. I'm just gonna do it, like everything. I don't care how it takes. If I have to take a train, a $50 Uber, no more excuses. I'm just gonna go.
Wow, so with that mindset, what do you got coming up next? Not necessarily music specifically or performances, just in general. What is the next step for Umi Tha Goat?
For first, I'm working on the visual for the life of Idiosyncratic. So I want to have a a video for each song, and then they all would collide into like a movie. So that would be next, and then after that, Nip Slip is fashion line I have with Kie. Nip Slip is basically for the people, men and women, who want to dress without any boundaries. Based on the name, you would think it was kind of slutty in a way, but it's actually not. It's dope pants like these, shirts, tops. It's gonna be dope. It's men and women, kids, however, who just wants to kind of show their personality through their clothes. And so that fashion show would be April. And so we have the visual and then the fashion show, and then hopefully tour.
So there's a fashion show?
Yes.
Wait, when's the fashion show gonna be? It's gonna be in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, yes. Yeah, April 3rd.
Huh. I want to go to that. What do I gotta do to go to that?
Nothing. You're invited.
I'm invited.
You're invited.
You heard it here. I'm invited. Wow. I love it. Okay. So we got the fashion show, and then you're gonna go on tour?
That's the fashion show, and then yes, I'm planning tour right now. I can't give 100% on that, but I'm just gonna speak into existence because that's what I'm working on right now. It's definitely a tour this summer.
Yeah, people really sleep on that. The law of attraction, speak into existence.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced it. You've obviously experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as touring goes, if it was all up to you, right? Where do you want to go? What would make you happy as far as your first tour? And yeah, your first. What is it? Your first tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your first tour.
Mm-hmm.
What would make you happy? Where would you want to go?
I think I would want to hit like I went to college, so I met people from all over the world, and I love people from Washington D.C., Cali. I would like to go back to New York, Florida. A lot of people from Florida like my music. A lot of people from London like my music. I would love to go to London and Hmm. California. I've never been to California, surprisingly. But yeah, I would like to travel to all the music towns. So New York, LA, Texas, Florida. I definitely want to hit London and like Canada and those places. Yeah. I always meet people from like out the country who write me and just love me. So if I could, I would go out the country. But for my first tour, I would definitely stick to like the big cities.
Do you think you could pull this a little closer to you?
Oh,
To the mic?
yes.
Yeah, you can pull it wherever you want. Perfect. So you said you got a lot of love out in London,
Mm-hmm.
and so your music's obviously on all platforms, right?
Yeah.
So it shows you where people listen most.
Mm-hmm.
You got love out in London.
Yeah.
Holy shit! How does that feel to know that you broke the USA boundary?
It's dope because I love UK's sound of music. Like I love it so much. I love how different it is. I love how you can pick it out. Like if someone from the UK got on a rap song or any type of song, like you can what area they're from. Like you can kind of they have their own wave, kind of like here in the New York or Atlanta or Cali sound. I just really fuck with their vibe. So that's dope. It's dope. People always hit me like, I'm your first France fan, or I'm your first London fan, or Sweden. Or I've talked to people that don't even have like phones. They have like I forgot what the machine was called that they were like contacting me on, but it was dope. I can't even tell you like.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it like making beeps?
Yeah, they make beats, and then like they're like I can't call you because our times are like totally different, but I have like a tell us something, I don't know, but they can only like email me or something like that, but they email me and tell me how much they love me, or they send me beats and stuff like that. So that's just dope.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wow. So from everything I'm hearing, I feel like you're gonna agree with what I have to say right here, right? So isn't it weird how when you push into something, right? Whether you start a water bottle company, who cares what it is, but primarily the music industry for you, right? Isn't it weird how when you start going, a bunch of doors just start opening up along the way?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like when I started rapping, I had like some doubts, like, why didn't my cousin make it? Why didn't he make it? Why didn't he make it? And I'm just like, wait, they were just like rapping, and that was it. They didn't actually like go out and network and create relationships and business partners and build a team and make a video and like do the above and beyond. They just like talked about it. And so that's like my main thing. Like if you want to do something in life, like you could talk about it a million times, you could plan it out a million times, but if you don't do it, it's not gonna work. But if you do it, it's actually gonna happen. Like, and I could live by that. Like if you really do that shit that you said you're gonna do, it's gonna happen. And that's everything that I said I was gonna do. Like I just threw my first concert on my birthday, and I said that I was gonna sell it out before the date came, and I did. Like, and then once the day came, I was like, wait, what if nobody comes? Like, and I was just like, the minute I got on stage, I was like, wait, what if nobody's out there? And then like, I just looked out, and it was just like so many people that actually came. And I was like, okay, just, yeah.
I hopped on a little late, or else I would have been there.
Yeah.
Because I love anything. See, the one thing that I hate is how, whether you want to refer to it as society or life, that there's almost like boundaries set up, or there's like a path that you have to take in order to become a rapper, or to get signed, or you have to label yourself. But I like that you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own genre. I'm gonna start doing my own shit. I'm just gonna become consumed with the part, and then it's working.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's working. I think that's the way to go right now, because I'm not interested in anything that I've seen before. And I feel like I listen to the radio for the first time, because I don't like watch TV or listen to the radio. I'm just like, either I'm in my house and I'm creating stuff, because if I watch TV or listen to the radio, I'm scared my music might sound like it, or my video might look like that. So I don't actually watch anything. I try to get on social media more, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I would say that a lot of people are living with boundaries, and that's really what's holding them back. instead of just creating something new and loving it. Like, you gotta love this, or it's just not gonna, it's not gonna make you happy. It's not gonna last long. Cause I plan on doing music, but I also plan on doing a lot of other things. I also plan on making it easier for people like me to become a musician, and because I feel like this journey is so hard, it's so long, and it's so like, it could be depressing. I can understand why kids are like, or rappers or anybody in, you know, the music industry are depressed, because it's kind of like up and down, and you know, and you're kind of like doing it for other people. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna create my own label. I'm gonna like create my own wave. I'm gonna do it my way, or it's not gonna work. And I think that's the way everybody should live and do this, you know.
I like that. So
Mhm.
as far as writer's block, mental block, you just got to keep going.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely experienced writer's block. Like recently, like after I did my project, I tried to go in and start making the music again, but I was like, I don't want my music to sound like my last project, so I need to take some time, experience more things, go through some more stuff in life so I can have different stuff to talk about. So right now I'm kind of vibing. I'm going out in the city a lot more. I'm going to different places, meeting different kind of people instead of you know, staying in that same area, trying to gain people from places I've never been to, even in Atlanta. Maybe going to like Kennesaw State, or like, you know, Georgia Southern, and meeting those kids, and getting them hip to my music. So, yeah.
I like that. I like that you don't let yourself become subconsciously affected by the
Mm,
radio, by even your own music.
yeah.
I've never heard that. That's actually really interesting. So, you feel like if you make a project too soon after the last one, you almost might be affected, not literally by the music, but by the emotions and the mindset that you're having during that time?
Yeah, I think because my last project, I was like, I spent like a year on it or more. Like I was, because I'm such a perfectionist, and like I'm a storyteller. So each song is like I'm telling a story about something that really happened, and so I was that person for like a year and a half, and I'm telling stories that happened within that year or 2 years, or so prior to the album. So I'm now a different person than I was when I was making that project. Like the words, the lyrics, the songs that I made, I'm not going through that anymore. I've overcome a lot and I've experienced more. So now I want to talk about the new stuff out of life, the new thoughts, the new people, the way people treat me now versus they when they were when that project was happening, and the person I am now versus the person I was then, because two totally different people. So I kind of want to find out who this person is right now, and then do an album. Until then I can like do like a mixtape with maybe like other artists, because I would love to like collab with other people. But as far as like an album, I would have to find out who I am now first to do that.
I feel like a lot of people don't take that perspective. They
Yeah,
should though, because
yeah.
it's almost like you give your ideas a break while you collect more through life experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. Or you're gonna just sound the same. Like my favorite rappers are Lil Wayne and Drake, and I feel like every album that Drake came out with, I can listen to through and through, and beginning to end. Lil Wayne, Kanye West, all them. Like, so each one of their albums did something different to me. You know, connected with me. Like if I'm feeling a certain way, I'll listen to Nothing Was the Same, and if I'm feeling this way, I'll listen to Take Care, or you know, same with Lil Wayne and Kanye and all them. Yeah.
So you said every song is always wrapped around some sort of life experience, a story.
Hmm.
So what would you say is your favorite? Or maybe not your favorite, but the one that touched you the most, that you can always go back and listen to that song and you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I did what I did because it takes me back to how I felt then.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say the city, or Green Eyes. I say the city because I made the city like the first time I went to a studio in Atlanta, and I did it with the artist on there, Ola, and he told me to. He's like, well, the song is called The City, and I'm just writing about my experience in Atlanta. And I was like, okay. I just got to Atlanta, and I'm learning new things about myself. I'm a college student, so you know I wrote about that, and Every time I listen to it, I think about the first time I went to the studio, and because ever since that first time I went to the studio, I've been stuck on making this music dream come true because I fell in love with being in a studio and making music. I found out more about making music. Definitely that, or I would say Green Eyes, because um, Green Eyes was truly a story. Yeah.
Wow. So you said when you first got in there, you were just addicted.
Yeah, yeah. I was addicted to being in the studio because I was really nervous, but I realized the booth, you're closed in and no one can really see you. So I was in the studio and it made me more comfortable. I wasn't shy inside of the booth. I could do whatever. Nobody could see me. I can sing and make mistakes and they could fix it. And I learned about being an engineer and how to make your voice do different things. And it's about to rain and yeah, stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay, fuck. Shit's about to rain.
Hmm.
Damn. Okay. Fuck. All right. For anyone who's listening right now, right, who wants to get involved because they obviously support you, how do they get involved? How do they find your music? How do they contact you if they want to collab? How can they do all that? You want to go ahead and shout out your Instagrams, shout out all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So Umi the Goat, and that's one word. UMI THAGOAT, and that's on Spotify, Apple, really anywhere that you can listen to music, you can find it. Instagram. I talk to anyone who writes me. So, yeah.
Damn, okay, well,
It's
it's starting to
fucking-
fucking rain, or else we
Yeah.
wouldn't have ended it, but that's the universe saying you guys don't deserve it. What are we gonna do? But alright, fuck it. Alright, I hate to do this. I hate to end it early. God damn it. Alright, well, fuck it. I'm Charbel Milan. Today we got...
Umi the Goat.
This has been a timeshare. Thank you.